Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Today, we're going to be talking about retirement. The average American has over 141K saved up for retirement. Now, that might seem like a lot, but 141K in the years 65 to 80 when you're retired, that's less than 10K a year. 20% of non-retired Americans have savings accounts at all. That's 1 in 5 that have no plans for retirement. Overall, 55% of Americans feel unconfident in their ability to retire. And today, we want to make this number 100% of those of you watching, and maybe one day, we'll all be partying on a yacht.
Hello, my name is Sanjeev Gupta, CPA, and I'm here to get your broke ass to retirement by 65. Now, there are many financial instruments available to consumers like you, but due to your ignorance, combined with a system that ensures a lack of financial literacy and poor decision-making, few of you even know that these exist, and even fewer have savings to invest. So I'm going to help you make your money go pow. Now, compounding is when your money makes money. You start off with the standard 10% S&P rate of return, and your money will double in just 7 years. You take 10 grand and you invest it right now. By the time you retire at 65, you will have $1 million. Now, I know it takes a lot of patience to pull up your money, but as you can see here, it's the best way to ensure a stable retirement.
For most people, savings rely on some sort of income. For those of you who don't have to worry about savings, congrats on being a Rockefeller. For the rest of you, this income can come from a job, a business, or investments. Here's your monthly pay. Before you can pocket this income, the government takes a slice in the form of taxes. After tax, you can now waste this money how you please, or until you run out or get another paycheck. As a matter of fact, Forbes found that 78% of Americans live in this fashion, paycheck to paycheck. 44% of Americans have an emergency fund of less than $1,000.
For investment accounts, the ultimate idea is to sink your retirement money into something that will turn a profit. So there are two main kinds of retirement accounts you can invest in. There's the IRA, or the individual retirement account, or the 401k. Now, they're both retirement accounts that are tax deferred. We'll go over that in a bit, but let's go over the main differences between the two. So the 401k is employer sponsored, meaning that if your company offers it, then they're the ones that have to open it up. You can't open it up yourself. Whereas for an IRA, it's individually sponsored, meaning that you can open it up anytime yourself. Now, another key difference between the 401k and the IRA is the contribution limits. So for the 401k, you have a 23k pre-tax contribution limit, meaning that every single year you can put up to 23k into your retirement account, whereas for an IRA, the same number is 7k. And one big thing is the 401k lets you do company matching, meaning the company that you opened it under can match your contribution to your account up to a certain amount. So if you invested 23k into your account, then your company could invest some smaller percentage of that money themselves, meaning it's basically free money. But one big drawback to the 401k is that because it's employer sponsored, you're highly limited by what the employer lets you invest in. Whereas for the IRA, you can pretty much invest in whatever you want. So yeah, that's the two main retirement accounts. Well, let's look at this scenario where we don't use tax deferred, we don't use a retirement account. Let's say that you have 30k and you wanted to invest this. Let's assume that you get 100% return on investment. Well, first you're going to have to pay income tax. Let's say that that's roughly 40%. That means that you now have 18k to invest. Now you make 100% gains, and now you have 36k. But then you have capital gains tax, and that means that you pay 40% more in tax. So you're left with 28.8k by the end. Now this is the power of tax deferred. Let's say that you actually took that 30k, and then you invested into a retirement account, your IRA or your 401k pre-tax. Now, you make that 100% return on investment, nice, and it's now 60k. Let's say that you wanted to withdraw that from your account. Now you pay 40% income tax, and you're left with 36k. Okay, now let's just look at this, okay? If you did not know about tax deferred, you'd have made 28.8 grand. Well, after watching this video, you know to invest in a retirement account, you'd make 36 grand with the same amount of money. Imagine if you were investing 100 grand or $1 million. The difference would be insane. Like, you're looking at a 25% upside here. And that's the power of tax deferred.
Dude, my friend keeps trying to pay off his debt. Everyone sees loans as such a huge burden. Why wouldn't they? They're a liability. But y'all don't get that liability stems from putting money in your own pocket. This general stigma around loans is the reason so many people want to pay off their loans above all, I guess. Dude, I actually saw an article the other day by America Saves that told us paying down debt is saving, but I disagree. Take a look at my Challenger SRT. This particular trim set me back $85K. Instead of taking a car loan to purchase it, a lot of Americans would set aside money for years in a high-yield savings account to avoid this debt. Alternatively, I took out a loan. Think about it. You have the option to pay for the car with a small percentage of your monthly pay and invest the rest. Instead of paying upfront, you can take out an 84-month loan, meaning you repay it over 7 years. You'd still be paying for the car long term, but in split payments. So you'll get upside on the money that you spend on the car instead. So why wouldn't you take out the loan?
That's a great point. Let's break it down right here. On an $85,000 Dodge Challenger SRT, over a 7-year loan, we're going to put 20% down. That's the standard. On a loan interest rate of 7%, we're going to be borrowing $68,000 and paying about $18,000 in interest for a total payment of $86,000 over 7 years. Now, if we invest this $68,000 instead of paying it out of pocket, we can earn about $136,000 over the same 7 years at a 10% return rate from the S&P 500. So our total investment revenue off this $68,000 loan is $50,000. This doesn't mean we've made $50,000 in our pockets, but this does mean that we've leveraged $50,000 off of the $68,000 that was given to us, which means our total leverage profit off of the $68,000 loan is negative $17,000. Now you're probably going to ask me, hey, a negative profit? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I want that? Well, remember, this negative leverage profit combined with your down payment is the total price you've actually paid for the car, which comes out to be about $34,000. On an $85,000 car, you've only paid $34,000 out of pocket. That's a steal.
What's the catch?
Well, the catch is high risk, high reward, as usual. Remember, you don't want to needlessly take out loans. Maybe you can find a cheaper car, or you also got to make sure you have a steady source of income to keep up a 1.2K monthly payment, which is what you're going to be netting on a 7-year loan like this. If you can't handle a loan, don't take it. You can get a worse credit score if you miss one of those monthly payments or more. One way you can reduce your loan's interest rate and further increase this upside is by building your credit. But wait, what's credit? Credit is a whole nother mystery. So to break it down for you, we got Margot Robbie in a bathtub.
Gotcha! I'm no Margot Robbie, but I'm the best you're gonna get. Credit is your Uber driver review for lending, gauging your financial reliability. Credit scores range from 300 to 850, with 850 being the highest credit score you can possibly achieve. Although this is ideal, a credit score between 740 and 850 is the best, indicating delinquency of 1 to 2% tops. According to Experian, the average credit score in America is 715. Your credit score is based on 5 factors: payment history, amount owed, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit. Basically, you build credit by being financially responsible, staying in good standing with banks in the long term by making your payments on time. All of this is for companies to know if you're good for it, deciding things like your loan amounts, interest rates, and insurance. Credit reports are basically your financial browsing history and are reported and maintained by 3 credit agencies. So how can you maintain immaculate credit to reduce your liabilities? Well, firstly, you gotta make sure that you pay bills on time. That rent you're delinquent on? Yeah, not only are you getting evicted, but your credit score is gonna tank. Maintaining a good credit score is as simple as making the minimum payment every month and almost never being late. You might have to do more. Credit interest rates are really high, like 20% annual percentage rate, known as APR. Remember, just like you wouldn't loan money to that friend who never pays back, the bank won't want to loan money to you if you're unreliable. So let's look at the difference a good credit score can make.
With the perfect credit score, you can get an interest rate of as low as 4%, which means your total profit went from negative $17,000 to negative $9,000. You've saved $8,000 by just having good credit. So in total, you've gone from $34,000 for an $85,000 vehicle to a little over $26,000 for an $85,000 vehicle. At this point, you should have the background to ensure a financially viable retirement. All it takes is some patience to save some on the side and invest responsibly for the long term. Accounts like the 401k and the IRA only help you to reach your own goals. Retirement can be scary to think about, I know, but there are a few steps you can take right now, like creating accounts through Fidelity and Vanguard, or filing your first credit card application, or just managing your debt as you go into college and beyond. Remember, your money can make money through compounding, and you can leverage others' money to make even more money. The key to a comfortable retirement is saving now so you can splurge later. Now that's retirement on another level.